Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do begin, let me just say something real quick. This is a very interesting storyline in my head that I had an idea for a long time ago. Looking back on it, I might remake the thumbnail, but that's mainly because I want to kind of update it a bit more. Bring some Marvel stuff into MHA is an interesting idea. And I have found a way to intertwine the concepts I had for the story into MHA a bit more. Thinking about it and trying to deal with that. Now then, with that being said, it's also just an interesting idea. Let me just get started. We'll start with Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya is the son of Inko Midoriya. And Inko, she met Logan a while back. The two, they definitely had their moments, and they had their fun. But by the time Logan had to deal with some problems, he had to hit the road. He couldn't stick around for very long because his enemies, they started to track him down. They know he's in the general area, but all he really had to do was stay away from her and go leave out of town. After he left though, she heard about an incident nearby, and knowing his luck, it was him. Afterwards, he was gone. She never saw Logan again. And Deku was born just a few months later. Now, Izuku, he had to be hidden away. Inka was well aware that if anyone knew Logan was connected to her or her son, then there could be quite a bit of problems with him or them being used to get to him. Yeah, it's not an interesting thing. It's not a fun thing. She's had her worries and her doubts. His powers are unique, and considering the fact that some of his enemies are strange as well, she tried to be careful with Izuku's upbringing. Though, you'd only be as careful up to a certain extent. And Izuku, he currently is walking home. He's got a lot going through his mind. His powers have been odd, and he's not really too sure. Enhanced senses, and he can heal pretty damn fast. Though that's not too much really. If he wanted to be a pro hero, he'd have to do a lot more. There are some crazy ass villains out there. Just weird ones. I mean, hell. He's still trying to figure out a few more things though. Then again, that's just a problem I'll have to deal with. Going to UA is going to be interesting, but it's going to be annoying. It's this dumb college course, and, well, how he can deal with that? He's going to have to head to his job soon, and it's just going to be a whole thing. Him walking down the road, and a lot is going through his mind. He can smell everyone around him. He doesn't even need to take a whiff. There's the asshole over there who put on too much aftershave or cologne. There's the woman over there whose perfume is... ugh. And then there's the guy over there who just reeks. He's pretty sure someone forgot to shower this morning. If not, practice some hygiene. Him walking by. And he can smell lingering smoke on the person he just passed. Right now, him going to think about it. Go to work, go home, and then try and start dealing with being a pro. Get ready for it. It's not that bad of an idea. Though right now, he's got to deal with a few other things. Right now, him taking a corner, and going to speed up his pace a little bit more. He can smell someone behind him. Their scent hasn't gone away. And it's getting closer. Stronger? Yeah. That means they're following him. If a scent lingers for too long, that usually means he's being tracked. And he doesn't exactly like that. So today of all days, he's going to run into some issues. Huh. More assholes from school? No. Some muggers? Some villains? Maybe. He'll just have to make sure to get away. Not deal with it? Though, that smell. A woman? A man? He can't exactly tell. There's probably multiple of them then. Him going to make it halfway down the road before he does get a stop. Turning and answering his phone. Right now, saying a few things to someone who isn't there. And he does go to glance around and look around. Talking about how they see him. And he does try to look around the crowd. Waving a hand up and talking about how he's trying to get their attention. Can they see him or not? They said they... Huh? Oh. Never mind then. Him going to turn back and trying to just think. He saw someone there, but they seemed to not... shit. This is more complicated than he first thought. Is it someone who's trying to get to Mom? Maybe, but he should be okay. Him going to turn and bolt. And whenever he does it or run off, the person, they do try to give chase. But Deku does get lost in the crowd. And he does go to show up late for work. Right now, him arriving and trying to deal with a few things. Making his way into the back and changing into his uniform. As whenever he does it to do so and come walking out, his shift does begin to start as typical and usual. Right now, him staying there in a convenience store, wondering about a few things. He's got to talk to his manager about a few things, but they've got to just be careful then. Keep an eye out? Maybe, but that's a different story. If he does find that scent, he'll probably just duck in the break room and call the cops. Hopefully he doesn't have to fight someone for any reason. No, if someone does try to rob him, they're going to be in for a bit of a shock. He won't make it easy. Though, he'll just have to outlast them. If he's got his dad's powers, then he should be okay. Him going back through that line of thinking again. Trying to figure out who his dad could have been. I mean, Mom doesn't talk much about him. She's mentioned him when he asked, and she only ever really keeps it at their time together was brief, but it was passionate. Which, now that he's older, sounds less good to hear from his mom. Him just turning his head when the door does open. And a man does come walking in. Deku sniffing the air and knowing that familiar scent. As when the man does a walk over to the counter, he does go to point it out, asking if he can get some of those cigars back there, and, well, asking the kid if he knows any good places nearby to get a drink. No, not really. Not my style. Ah, I see. Well, that's quite interesting. See, I was curious about talking with you about something, if you had the time. Sorry? Don't worry, kid. Just want to have a quick talk real quick. Deku putting the items on the counter as the man does bring his hand down onto it. His sharpened, taloned nails catching Deku's attention, and he does get a freeze. This guy smells odd. His senses are telling him he's bad news. And talons like that. Is he a villain? No, he's. Listen, I'm gonna make this real easy. Where's Logan? Sorry, who? Deku going to glance up and make direct eye contact with the man. And the man does stare at Deku, annoyed. Logan, kid. You know, James. I don't know what bullshit alias he used on your mama, but your dad, where is he? I'm sorry, I don't know my father. Really? I find that hard to believe. Where is he? Him bringing a hand up and grabbing Deku by the shirt, pulling him forwards and telling him, bring up his hand and putting the claws directly to his stomach. He wonders if he inherited some of his pop's powers. Time to see. And Deku, he does go to just freeze. Still trying to think about what to do. He's taken some pretty hard knocks in the past. Bruises heal, and simple cuts heal. He's not too sure about being stabbed by those things, though. And right now, he does just go to try and tell the man. He really doesn't know. Listen, it's just the man stabbing his fingers directly into Deku's gut. And whenever Deku does a world in pain, he does go to bring a hand up, smash the man across the face. Right now, him going to stagger backwards as Deku does push himself off the counter and backwards into a rack behind him. Him feeling that blistering, sharp pain begin to leave. And Deku does go look down, seeing the blood from his shirt stop, and then gonna just stare at the injury. And the moment he does realize it's healed, he does hear a noise. Ducking his Sabertooth does a crashing into the wall and going to move through the rack. Right now, Deku going to turn and rush over the counter, turning around and just trying to think about what he can do. Clenching his fist hard as he does realize he's in a fight. One that this guy doesn't just simply want to knock him around in. His dad? Logan? James? Is that his dad's actual name? Who the hell is this guy? And when Sabertooth does come rushing back over at Deku, crashing into him, Deku and him do go rolling into a tumble, crashing through the aisles. Right now, him clawing at and scratching at Deku. And Deku, he is throwing punches, trying his best to not be mauled by this rabid man. And whenever Izuku is torn, cut, bleeding, and even does feel something break, he does get sent crashing through a window, smashing into a car. And whenever that does going to happen, Deku, he does go rolling to his side and going to stand. Getting up and watching as bits of glass are pushed out of his arm by his healing factor. Large, massive cuts on his torso beginning to heal. And even the concussion in his head beginning to go away. It hurts like fuck, but it's beginning to fade. And right now he does feel a sharp sensation falling through his fist. And whenever he does going to watch Sabertooth come stepping out, he does bring up his fist and glare at the man, getting ready for an actual fight. And Sabertooth does going to laugh, talking about how he is one of Logan's kids. See, he wasn't too sure for a second there, but that's a pretty good sign. And Deku does look down at his hands. Right now, him realizing what he does going to see. And he does going to stare at the 6 claws. They're... what the fuck? And that does going to alarm him. He felt blistering pain, but it started to fade. No, 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 he's just gonna deal with this guy. What can he do? How to handle it? Right. Okay, he's just gonna deal with this. And Rhino Sabertooth does go to glare at Deku. As when the two do go rushing at each other, he does go to throw a fist, stabbing Deku in Sabertooth's gut as he has a bring up his hand, turning Deku's wrist and breaking the claws off. Deku, roaring out in pain as Sabertooth does bring a hand up, and over Deku does try to come down with his fist, he does go to grab Deku by his other wrist. This time, him twisting his arm hard and pulling. And that is where a sound can be heard. Sabertooth roaring out in pain as metallic claws do pierce through his back. And Deku does it'll watch as Sabertooth does a falling forwards into him as he does go to bite down directly onto Izuku's neck. And he does feel the rapid man trying to take a pound of flesh. And Deku does bring back his hand and feel it begin to heal back into place, stabbing upwards into Sabertooth's neck himself and going to just try and get free, get away. But whenever he does try to retract his hand, Sabertooth is going to bring up his head and twist his neck before he does go to pull his pound of flesh and break the other set of claws on Deku's hand. This time, him staggering away as the bone claws begin to heal. And Deku, whenever he does go to fall backwards, crash into the ground, clutching at his throat, he does feel it healing. Though, whenever he does start to feel air pouring back into his lungs, he does gulp it down like a drunk man. Turning to look up at the person as Sabertooth does go to bring a hand up, trying to pull claws out of his neck. And Reno Deku does stare at a woman in a jacket, her holding up metallic claws and looking directly at Deku, talking about how he's a hard person to track. Now come on, they've got to get out of here, rushing her way over. And when she does a glance down at the claws Deku does have, she does a look at the way they are. They're made of a strange looking bone, and they are certainly claws. If there was any indication he wasn't, that's out the fucking window now. Her grabbing him and talking about it. They need to get out of here now. Since Sabertooth is not going to stay down for very long. And the man, he does begin to pop his neck and feeling everything start getting back into order. Deku being pulled to his feet as he does go bring his hand up to his neck again. His claws slashing across his face as he does the wince and ask, "What the hell's happening?" And Sabertooth does come rushing at the two. Right now, her talking about how they can't talk about that right now, and she does push him out of the way. Her turning and sending a stabbing kick directly into Sabertooth's gut. The man roaring out in pain as she does try to aim for the head. And the man, yeah, he is not happy. He's feral. And Deku does come rushing in as he just tries to take the man out, stabbing him through the back with both sets of claws, and the man goes to go roaring out in pain. As Laura does a slash on Rookie out into the eyes, and then go to stab him in the neck again. Her going to bring up her hands as Deku does go to hoist the man up a bit higher. And she does go to grab him, before she does a turn and rush over, chucking him off of the highway, but chucking him off the street and onto the highway. Whenever he does go crashing down, he does get hit by a car. It going to hit the brakes hard and go to swerve into another lane, before another vehicle does go crashing over Sabertooth. And Deku does go rushing over, looking over at horror whenever a large vehicle does begin to tumble its way, blaring its horn trying to hit its brakes. But it goes right over that massive dude. And Deku, he does feel his teeth and gut clench hard. Turning back and looking at the crazy woman. Okay, who the hell are you? And wait. Him looking down at her claws, which are metallic. before he has a brain of his own hands and talk about it. Okay, what the hell is going on? He didn't know that she killed that guy. Listen, it's hard to explain. I'm your sister Laura. That's our uncle Sabertooth, and he's trying to find our dad. Just like me. I'm sorry. I have a sister? That goes around a lot. There's quite a few of us, but we're not really talkative with one another. Issues, you know? Anyways, he'll be up in a few minutes. We gotta go now. That won't buy us a lot of time. We'll just get a head start. Her going to pull her claws back in. And Deku does a stare at that. Her glancing at his pair and holding up her hand. Before talking about it. Okay, they look fine. She thought something bad happened to him. He heals fast, so that's a good sign. Though, they gotta figure that out later. Now's not the time. Her rushing quickly and trying to explain to him about what to do. And Izuku does begin the painful act of retracting his claws. Now, she does go to grab she does go to make her way over, grabbing the handle and pulling it open, entering a car. Deku making his way over and climbing into the passenger seat. And she does start talking about it. They're going to go someplace safe, get him a shower and a change of clothes, and then they can talk about everything. Right now, though, they can't stay in the city. If Sabertooth has his scent, they've got to go quickly. Right. I need to make a phone call. Don't. What? Don't. If you try and get someone you're close to involved in this, that could be bad. Your mom, right? Yeah, I should call her though. The store. She'll know. Trust me. She'll either start running or she'll go into hiding herself. Trust me, it's best you don't make that phone call. Him glaring at her. Though he does gonna make the phone call anyway. However, he does gonna get an answer. He does go to ask. Mom? Izuku, is everything okay? No. Listen, it being snatched from his hand, and a woman's voice does express. Sabertooth came to attack her son. They're looking for Logan, and things are bad. If she needs to, go and hide. What? Logan? Who is this? Laura. Listen, her glancing at Deku. Miss, it's a long story. Right now, some of Logan's enemies are after him, and they thought that they could use your son to find him. I don't know how to explain it, but they think there's some sort of connection. When's the last time you saw our father? I'm sorry. What? It's a lot to explain. Her taking a right. When was the last time you saw Logan? Just before Izuku was born? Her nodding, telling her. Good. She was hoping that she could have given them more useful information about him, but that works too. Logan's missing, and a lot of people are trying to find him. Some people out for revenge, and that's where things get complicated. Now, she would suggest going into hiding. If he had Deku's scent, then it means Sabertooth has her scent. Change perfumes or anything, shower thoroughly, and run. That's the best advice she can give at the moment. Don't look back and keep going. Hell, go somewhere else and stay out of country until this all blows over. I'm sorry, when do you think that will be? He said something like this would have happened. I didn't think it would ever. Yeah, I know. Listen, just do it. Otherwise, you might be dealing with something that not even a healing factor could keep up with. Her hanging up the phone and handing it back to Deku. And he does declare at her, talking about it, looking down at himself and still feeling weird about how quickly his injuries healed. He knew he healed fast, but that was faster than ever. I mean, he didn't know that he could take that kind of beating. Shit. It hurt though. Him still glancing down at his own hands, before staring at his own forearms, wondering about that. I mean, his dad is Wolverine. Jesus Christ. Now, with that being said, the vehicle, it does go to roll quickly onto the highway, them getting out of town and trying to head to a safe house. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.